the power systems on board the International Space Station, making sure that current is not flowing through the 2B power channel. An estimated 2 more minutes until the astronauts are given a go to start making the electrical connections necessary to complete the, well, in part to complete the installation of the IROSA.
Just over a minute until our working portion of the eclipse, and again, we'll be giving you the go when it's time.
Copy, Jenny, we're ready. Copy.
These electrical connections should be the final steps to install the IROSA to the mounting bracket. Once they complete the electrical connections and flight controllers determine everything is go to proceed, the next steps will be to deploy the solar array while the two astronauts are out at the worksite. There are two bolts that are keeping the solar arrays together. They're called launch restraint bolts, and the launch restraint, there are two of them that are needed to be undone in order to release both of the solar array blankets.
All right, we are go for connections. So to start, Thomas, you will be demating P9 from the blanket box, and Shane, you will be demating P7.
Nine is demated. P7 is demated.
Copy?
What's your remate?
You will be mating the right side P9 alpha to panel P9, Thomas, and Shane P7 alpha to panel P7. I'll take a check for FOD, pins, and EMI band.
Can I do the cable side before? Because that's the one I had in hand, Jenny.
Affirm, Thomas?
Yes, I've swapped now. I've got the panel side 9 alpha. Okay, never mind, Jenny. EV2, no FOD, no bent trims, good EMI band.
Copy, good checks.
Same for EV1.
Copy.
Before given the go to connect the cables, the astronauts inspecting the inside of them for any foreign object debris, making sure they're clean before making the connection.
Made it for EV2.
Copy. P7 alpha mated to P7 for EV2. You can move on to J7 alpha to the SAW cable P7.
Okay, that's in work. And good pins, no FOD, good EMI band for EV2.
Good check, Shane.
And it's mated.
Copy. J7 alpha mated to P7. Shane will have you move on to P21. You can demate that connector from the blanket box power panel, P21.
And work. P9 is mated to panel. I'm working on J9 alpha.
Copy P9 alpha.
And P1 is disconnected. Demated.
Copy P21 demated, and for Thomas, looking for your checks on J9 alpha.
Yeah, good checks on J9 alpha.
Copy, Thomas. Shane, we're looking for checks and connections.
J9 Alpha is mated.
J9 Alpha
Mating P23.
mated to P9, moving on to P23 for Thomas. Shane, you'll be connecting P21 Alpha to P21.
Okay, no fire, no bent pins, good EMI band, going for the connection now.
Copy, Shane.
And good check on P23 for Thomas and going for the connection.
Copy, Thomas. Those are good checks on P23 Alpha. You're mating to panel P23.
A lot of memory in these cables.
Yeah, struggling with this one.
All right, P23. Okay, P23 on the panel is connected to P23 Alpha.
Copy, P23 Alpha to P23.
Connection, P23 Alpha, and I'm out good pins. I'm looking at P23 and I'm making that connection.
Copy. Good checks. And Shane.
Jimmy, I'm going to move on to my last one and then come back to this one if that's all right.
Copy. That sounds fine to me. Shane, you'll be mating J21 Alpha to P21.
And no bent pins. Good. Copy. If no bent pins, good EMI band.
Good checks.
Okay, P23 connected to J23. I got all 4 connections made. Good checks, Jenny.
Nicely done. Thomas.
Copy. Well done, Thomas. I agree. Those are your final connectors.
One more to go here. All right, Jenny, I've got one more to go. I got that last one, the 4th one.
Thomas, that was J21 Alpha to P21, you said?
23.
Okay, Jimmy, for EB2, the 221 connections are now done.
Copy. Those are all of our connectors. Well done, both of you. Plenty of time left. Now I'll have you secure the strut MLI over the mod kit fasteners. You can use wire ties as needed.
Okay, give it a shot here.
I think it's pretty good on that side, Jenny. What do you think?
We're looking, Thomas.
The bolts.
I'm using those kind of internal wire thingies. Yeah. Looks pretty good. Helps out.
We're assessing it, you guys. Again, we can see your helmet cam, Thomas, but we don't have eyes on Shane's side.
He's doing great. I think the MLI is wrapped. Shane's side looks good too.
Yep, agree.
Not going to win no beauty contest, but the whole metallic structure is wrapped around MLI.
All right, copy. We're discussing down here. Thomas, we're happy with your side of the MLI. Still discussing Shane's.
Good.
Question going back to the cables for both Shane and Thomas. We don't want you to head back to the cable connections because we're doing some safing steps now. But since we don't know what these are like on orbit, could you report whether when you mated to the panel, you felt a click, like the wing tab connector went over a connector?
Yep, absolutely. On all four of them, you feel a click.
Once you get it kind of lined up, you know, it seats, and then you can rotate it nicely, and you get a feel the click. Yeah.
Perfect. And that was on the cable side as well? You felt that little detent click?
Both. On all four of them. Both.
Yep. Agree.
Okay, great. Thank you for the confirmation. We're talking to MLI.
With 20 minutes of nighttime to spare, the electrical cable connections are complete. Now the astronauts will continue some of their additional work, including covering with multi-layer insulation. They'll also perform a test ahead of loosening those bolts necessary to unfurl or deploy the solar arrays themselves. Those bolts called launch restraint bolts. There are 2 of them, and that will be one of the next steps after all the tests to verify that the IROSA is secured and ready to deploy.
Not yet, Thomas. I should be able to tell you shortly.
I want the views from it. I know that.
A long wire tie.
That's it?
Yeah. It's going to be great if you bump it and it's going to float off. I mean, there's a rod on the cable, so it's not going to go anywhere.
It's not going anywhere, yeah.
At least it's going to make it more stable. It's actually stable in 30 minutes or so.
Okay, thanks for you guys'.
Another handover of the video communications coming from the International Space Station, handing over those satellites as the station continues to orbit the Earth. Again, the electrical connections that were required to be mated during an orbital nighttime were completed with a lot of time to spare. In that orbital nighttime, they're getting some of their other tasks out of the way, including covering some of the components with multi-layer insulation. We can expect a test ahead of deploying the solar arrays just to make sure everything is in shape for those solar arrays before that is made.
That we're doing down here after you guys successfully mated those cables. So, Thomas, you can translate to Shane and work the helmet cam issue.
Okay.
We're going to go to Thomas, same place?
So, I need access to, actually, you know what? How about we go down here? You can go down here and next to me.
Come on.
Before the electrical connections were made, Thomas Pesquet used wire ties to temporarily secure Shane Kimbrell's helmet assembly that includes the cameras and lights on top of his spacesuit. That's secured with wire ties. He's going to continue to work on that helmet with some time to spare before they get into the steps necessary to deploy the IROSA.
Right here or somewhere else closer?
I'm trying to, let's see. You have to face this way.
Okay.
Like hold 2 hands on this handle. go on this one and this one here. There you go. Now bring your feet towards me. Back your right foot above, yeah. Left, yeah. Out.
Doing something.
Yeah, it's, your pulse is contracting. You have to bring you. Go higher. Oop. Slowly. Rotate.
This way?
Okay. Okay. On your right side to me. Your left side to me. Beautiful. Okay, good. Done. Okay. Okay. Oh man.
Thank you, sir.
You're good.
Get out of here and kind of start going.
Yeah. Absolutely.
The HECA is the high-definition camera assembly that is on the top of Shane Kimbrough's spacesuit. The green light indicates power is flowing. Teams here in Mission Control Houston will verify the feed is coming from Shane Kimbrough's helmet camera.
It's at least it's stable for now.
Yeah.
Yeah, that looks really good. Thank you, and well done.
So you're gonna let me. Do we have time, Johnny? You said 30 minutes, so we have time. We're gonna try to fix a little bit this side now.
Okay.
A little bit more tension.
Hey, for and we still have 25 minutes of that wait for a checkout on our side, so lots of time.
Okay. Do you want us to relocate the APFR or not? In those 25 minutes.
We're checking on it. In the meantime, glove inspection, hap check, and gauntlet check, please.
All right, for EV1, we got very good gloves, gauntlets are in position, and dry hat.
Copy for EV1.
Two good gloves, gauntlets in position, and dry hat.
Copy. Good checks on EV2. I'll let you know shortly about the APFRs.
We're just further away, right? Takes a little bit more time.
Yeah.
display.
Yep.
All right, you two. Looking at the check that we need to do here on the ground, we might have that complete as early as the end of this eclipse, which is around 11 minutes away. So best case scenario, we're ready to move with our steps in 11 minutes. So we do not want to commit you to moving those APFRs. We can help. We can have you get in position for our deployment steps and hold there.
Okay, Jenny, I think it is a good decision, and we'll do that.
Copy. That sounds good.
We have two good high-definition camera views from each of the astronauts. That troubleshooting step on Shane Kimbrough's helmet camera worked, so we got both of those. The next steps will be to get in position during this orbital nighttime for the deployment sequence. There are two bolts that are keeping the IROSA solar array blankets together. These two launch restraint bolts will help to unfurl and deploy the IROSA solar arrays. They stretch out 15 feet wide and they'll deploy to 60 feet once those bolts are undone. The whole sequence will take about 6 minutes, and we'll be able to see it real time from the helmet cameras of each of the astronauts. Once the deployment sequence is completed, they'll use the pistol grip tool to secure some tensioner bolts, keep those solar arrays secured in the fully deployed position 60 feet out. And that will complete the deployment, the installation and deployment of the first brand new IROSA solar array on the 2B channel.
I see R9 and R10, Jenny, I'm in position.
Copy, Thomas.
When you translate here, I can feel the structure move.
Yeah, let's forward.
You're in position? I can't see you, actually.
Not quite yet. Yeah, I just don't like the... Alright, that's better. Yep, I'm good now.
You're getting a live look at the high-definition camera view from the helmet camera of Thomas Pesquet.
Minutes to wait in this position prior to us being able to do our checks.
Okay. Thanks, Jenny, for the information.
The astronauts are currently waiting for an orbital daytime before beginning a test. Make sure that the iROSA is secure and that all systems are go before Thomas Pesquet begins using the pistol grip tool. This is the space drill. There are 2 bolts that are securing the blankets in a rolled-up position. By undoing them, the solar arrays will deploy and go out 60 feet. That whole sequence will take about 6 minutes, and then they'll use the pistol grip tool once again. Pesquet will have the tool in his hand to secure tensioner bolts and keep them tight and in place once they're fully deployed. But again, they're just standing by in position, ready to go once the sun starts to rise.
Jenny for AV2, can you see my helmet camera views?
Hey, firm Shane, we can see your helmet cam.
Okay. Hopefully that looks all right.
We can't give you too many words on that because of the light situation, but we'll be able to give you more once we're in installation. For now, it looks fine.
Sounds good. Thank you.
While the astronauts wait for the next steps to perform that test before deploying the solar arrays, we'll continue to take questions using the hashtag AskNASA. This next one comes from Michael, who's asking about the procedures. What about the procedures that they follow during the spacewalk? Are they memorized, relayed vocally from Earth, displayed on the sleeve, or a heads-up display? You can sort of see it on the left wrist of Thomas Pesquet from this helmet view. There are a few procedures, critical procedures, that they can flip through and read at any time. It's a little booklet that contains some of the procedures. Most of the procedures, though, are studied ahead of time, so they're very familiar with the procedures. In addition, there is a dedicated person here in Mission Control Houston called the Ground IV. In this case, it is Jenny Seide. She is the one that is communicating from here in Mission Control Houston, gathering the knowledge from the EVA officers, extravehicular activity officers, and the support teams here, and relaying them to the crew. She's behind, on the left of your screen there, Flight Director Ron Spencer, who's leading today's teams. In the back there, Keith Johnson, the lead EVA officer, knowing the intricate procedures and working with his teams in the back room, knowing the procedures forwards, backwards, and of course having a few crib sheets right there in the center. Jenny Seide is the voice you're hearing from Mission Control Houston. Her job is to communicate with the 2 spacewalking astronauts on the outside of the International Space Station, Canadian Space Agency astronaut. To her right, our left, Drew Feustel, NASA astronaut. It's his job to communicate with the astronauts on the inside of the International Space Station.
Three more minutes.
Astronauts continuing to hold position until that sunrise. In the meantime, we'll continue to answer some questions. This next one comes from Raj on Twitter, who's asking, will the ROSA type of solar array be used in future spacecraft and space stations? The answer is yes. These particular solar arrays are called iROSAs, ISS Rollout Solar Arrays. They're about 15 feet wide, and they were folded in half when they were delivered to the International Space Station on a SpaceX Cirrus-22 Dragon. That fit very nicely in the unpressurized trunk of the Dragon. For the gateway, they will also use ROSA technology, but it will be about twice as wide at about 32 feet. and that will provide about 30 kilowatts of power each. There are 2 designated ROSA solar arrays on the gateway planned for the power and propulsion element of the gateway, and they'll use those solar arrays to draw power as it orbits in a near rectilinear halo orbit around the moon. These are great questions coming in using the hashtag AskNASA as we await for an orbital sunrise, and the astronauts do the same. This next one on Twitter asks, do astronauts practice these spacewalks on Earth? The answer is yes. Part of becoming an International Space Station astronaut is to get basic spacewalking training with the amount of spacewalks and maintenance that's needed on board the International Space Station. What used to be dedicated spacewalks for very particular procedures is now more of a basic overview of how to perform spacewalks, how to move, and how to understand the procedures and understand the layout of the International Space Station. There is a large pool located just off the center here at the Johnson Space Center called the Neutral Buoyancy Laboratory. There are full-scale mock-ups of the modules of the International Space Station where astronauts will go in and become neutrally buoyant using a series of weights and floats that are dependent on each of their bodies, and they'll practice the procedures and understand what it's like in space. It is the best analog for practicing some of the spacewalking procedures that are needed. Some of the runs that are done are specific to spacewalks. In fact, there were some runs that were done specifically for practicing the techniques needed to install these roll-out solar arrays. Here you can see an astronaut performing some practice procedures, holding onto handrails and working with a crew lock bag, that's their toolbox, and getting familiar with the needed procedures.
2 minutes till installation.
Copy. Copy.
And with an orbital sunrise as the International Space Station flies over the middle of the Pacific Ocean, heading towards the western coast of the United States. The astronauts in position, ready to await the next set of procedures to test the IROSA, make sure it's in a good configuration before beginning the deployment sequence.
Now that we're in insulation, we can better see your viewpoint, Shane, and we want to get a good view of the magnets on the end of IROSA, so we're going to have you yaw to your right if you can manage that in your current body position.
Okay, give me a second. I'll do that a little bit more.
You can lower your sun visor, Shane, if you can. Try to grab it from the front.
Yeah, I don't want to go that far.
Okay.
Fine. Hey, Jenny, I can barely see it. I don't know if you can see it on my camera.
Yep. Not quite, just at the end of it. But we understand that you're kind of constrained in how far you can go. That's really good if you can manage that.
And I'll go back to that once we get there, but I'll relax a bit for now.
Understood. All right, good news, you two. We have the data that we need to go for deploy. So with Shane in position, Thomas, you can ready your PGT. I have settings for you.
Stand by one.
Bravo 7, counter 2.
Stand by one, Jenny.
Copy.
Okay, I copy Bravo 7.
Affirm.
Counter 2.
Bravo 7, counter 2. Good words.
And with that, Thomas Pesquet will use this pistol grip tool to undo 2 launch restraint bolts. Each will deploy the IROSA. It'll take about 6 minutes to fully deploy 60 feet.
He's driving 2 bolts, right? The second, once he releases the second one, then the IROSA will deploy, right?
Oh, that's correct.
That's correct.
You have time. I'm going to R9, Jenny.
Copy, starting on R9, 17 to 20 turns. A white line will appear when fully released.
South. Okay. Now we're talking. 3. How many turns again, Jenny, please? 17 to 21?
17 to 20.
Okay. Is fully released. I see a white line.
Copy, 17 turns, and you see a white line. R9 is fully released. We'll get Shane into position, again, yawing to his right to give us a view of the magnets, and you can start on R10, 17 to 20 turns. The white line will appear when released, and then we expect deployment, which should take over 6 minutes.
Okay, Shane, you give me a go.
Yeah, I'm ready.
Going. Five turns.
Pesquet now driving the final bolt needed to deploy the IROSA.
Turns. 20 turns, but the bolt is not popped out, Jenny. I keep going.
Continue.
Yeah, 30 turns in the bolt. Not sucked out. I don't see a green light.
Copy, Thomas. Can we confirm, again, white lines appear on both, and both have popped out and are away?
No. Stand by. No. Stand by. 30 turns, no white line, both not popped out on R10.
On R7?
Copy. The bolt is not popped out on R10.
Yes, and there is no white line.
Okay, we're going to have you continue releasing R10.
Copy. Releasing. Okay. Turns 50. I see it.
Solar array deployment has begun.
Copy. Well done.
Thomas.
From the helmet camera of Shane Kimbrough, you can start to see that solar array unfurl, the blankets becoming clearer as it makes its way up. The full deployment sequence takes about 6 minutes.
Your positioning looks great. We can see a very good view of those magnets in your helmet cam. Thomas, we are going to have you move to the right side of the mod kit to get in a similar position viewing our Rosa unfurling.
It should work. Nice and slow, Thomas.
Yeah.
The first of the 6 planned IROSA new solar arrays to augment the power systems of the International Space Station started deploying at 10:24 a.m. Central Time. The International Space Station was 261 statute miles over the North Pacific Ocean, just west off the coast of California.
See the magnets, the first 4 and the 5th is snapping together as we speak. Yeah, first 5 are snapped. Good magnets.
Copy. We see that in your helmet view. Looks good, guys.
It is beautiful.
Again, the IROSA or the ISS rollout solar array is about 15 feet wide and 60 feet long. The deployment sequence takes about 6 minutes. It'll be some time until the solar array, the solar arrays themselves, the blankets, start drawing in power to confirm a good power draw. In the meantime, after the deployment sequence is complete, Pesquet has a final task to secure the...
Things looking good, you two. 30 seconds to hand over. We're going to keep you in this position.
Enjoying the view, Jenny.
Copy.
About halfway done with the deployment. The solar cells will draw power over time, and will later be able to confirm that power is being drawn from the IROSA. Pesquet will hold his position right in front of a series of other bolts called tensioner bolts. Once the IROSAs are fully deployed at 60 feet, he'll use his pistol grip tool or his space drill to secure those tensioner bolts and keep the IROSA fully deployed. That will be the last of the tasks on the 2B power channel. Next will be cleanup and moving some of their equipment over to the 4B side. Again, this is the first of 6 planned IROSAs that will augment the power supply of the International Space Station, continuing scientific research and technology development aboard the International Space Station for years to come. The 2B power channel provides critical power to a lot of important scientific experiments downstream. The 4B channel will be next. There's a modification kit already installed on the mast canister where the new IROSA, which is currently at the end of the station's robotic arm, that will be moved over on a spacewalk now scheduled for next Friday, the 25th. The spacewalkers' remaining tasks after securing the 2B channel will be to prepare the 4B channel and the work site necessary for moving the new solar array over to that new power channel. IROSA continuing to deploy as the station flies 262 statute miles right over Portland, Oregon.
You do tomorrow.
Yeah, nice snowy mountains. See the earth from side to side. Not bad. Oh, we have no idea.
How are you both doing in that position?
I'm doing good. I think my position is much more comfortable than Shane.
I'm hanging in there.
Copy.
Danny, can you tell us which part of the world we're overflying right now?
Check in. I can at least give you this, Shane. We have what we need from your view, so you can relax and get in a more comfortable position. Thomas will keep you in position, and I'm checking for you.
Okay, thank you.
You just always know that.
What do you know? It's Canada.
I knew it. Thank you, Jenny. I think it's very fitting.
Thanks for asking. Drew Feustel's on console with me, as you know, as well. So, party down here.
Nice.
Great views of the Rocky Mountains in the background as the International Space Station flies over Canada. Jenny Seide, the ground IV here in Mission Control Houston, a Canadian Space Agency astronaut, working next to Drew Feustel, NASA astronaut and a dual citizenship with Canada.
All right, good news, you two. You probably can see most of what we can see. We're tracking a full and good deploy of that solar array. So well done, both of you. We are going to move on to blanket tensioning bolts. So that has Thomas on the inboard side at the center of the mounting bracket.
Okay, well done, Johnny, and congrats to good news everybody who was involved in that project. Looking good now.
Likewise, and I agree, that was great to see. Well done.
Okay, tensioning bolts. Like about a flight.
Confirmed good deployment of the first IROSA, the new solar array that is part of a plan to augment the power systems on board the International Space Station. That deployment took about 10 minutes, but we did get confirmation that the deployment is good. Thomas Pesquet will finish up the job by securing 2 tension bolts that will secure the IROSA in its deployed position.
Copy. And Thomas, confirmed you can start with R12. Let me know when you're ready for settings.
I confirm I start with R12, and I'm grabbing my PD.
Copy.
I'm ready for settings, Jenny.
Alpha 1, counter 2.
Okay, Alpha 1, counter 2.
Good words. You'll be releasing R12, 5 to 6 turns, and the bolt will spring out when fully released.
R12, 5 to 6 turns, get in work. Thanks, Alpha 1. Go. Okay, Alpha 1, counter 2, 5 to 6 turns.
Good words.
The bolt popped out. I saw a jolt in the solar array. Nothing bad, I think it was expected. I can confirm that the release mechanism, the tension mechanism is released on R12, which is the right solar array wing.
Copy. And we agree you can move on to R11.
To R11.
Flight controllers confirmed that the first tensioner bolts looks good. Pesquet has one more to go to fully secure the deployed IROSA.
First thing we got to get when you're done with this is that oops, I might just hand you a ret.
Yeah, sounds good. And setting on R11, Jenny?
For R11, you have the same setting, Alpha 1, counter 2.
Alpha 1, counter 2, 5 to 6 turns.
Affirm.
released, ducked out. And I confirm visually, tension mechanism is released on R11.
Copy. Well done. That's R11 confirmed release. We are moving to cleanup steps. Thomas, you can stow your PGT. Shane, your first step is to remove the square scoop, which is on the base of the mounting bracket.
Go out of your way, Shane.
I'll put this red on there.
Yep.
With that, we have two good tensioning bolts that are securing the deployed iROSA on the 2B power channel. That does it for the 2B power channel. Now the two astronauts will work on cleanup steps and start on some procedures to get a head start on working on the 4B channel. There's another iROSA on station now waiting to be installed on the other side of the Port 6 truss. They'll start by cleaning up this work site and getting prepared on the 4B side and getting some steps of the next iROSA that will go on the 4B channel unbolted, just a couple steps ahead of actually moving it over to the 4B channel on the next spacewalk, now scheduled for the 25th.
I'll be back exactly where it's from. I'm moving to my PFR location.
Copy. And Shane, when you have the
Scoops in the crew lock bag.
copy, we're going to inventory the crew lock bag.
Okay, ready?
Ready. And as a reminder, Shane, if half of this crew lock bag is set aside for contingency and you did not open it, we do not need to inventory that side of the crew lock bag.
That's what I was wanting to hear. Thank you. All right, so I have a square scoop attached to a ret. I think it's supposed to be on an internal ret, but I used one that was on the outside, but it's in the bag.
Copy.
I have a long duration tie-down tether with a long wire tie. I have a cap keeper with 4 NZGL caps attached, and I have the AMS tool with a 6-inch wobble on the end. And that one has 2 rets in series. What else? What else are you looking for? On the outside, I got an adjustable. I have a large, small ret. I have another adjustable.
Checking for you, Shane. All right, that is a good inventory. Thank you, Shane. You can temp stow the crew lock bag on your APFR, which you left in with 18.
Okay, I'll head over there now. I get the bag.
Four hours into today's spacewalk, the first iROSA as part of the station's augmentation plan to augment the power system currently on board the International Space Station has been complete. Again, the astronauts are just cleaning up their work site, making sure they have all the tools and foot restraints necessary before moving over to the next work site, the 4B channel. They'll be preparing that channel for the remainder of today's spacewalk as much as they can to make sure that is ready for when they go out and install another iROSA on the next spacewalk, now scheduled for June 25th.
I have a big picture update for both of you. Our PET is 4 hours, limiting consumable, EV1 MEDOX, 7 hours, 30 minutes. And you guys are performing your cleanup steps, and APFR relocates now to the 4 Bravo side. Following that, we're going to head back to the FSE and release the upper support beams as a get-ahead for your next EVA.
Thank you. And I think my face tether is around my back, so I'll go back a little bit inboard to clear it. Okay. You see it?
Second, tomorrow I'll take a look. See.
It's behind my left leg.
Yeah, it's right between your legs. If you can swing your left leg towards your head. Can you see it now? And I've got my crew lock bag.
So I should, what do you think I should be there? What were you saying I should be there?
Just a second, let me look again.
So I think I got it.
It's between your legs, and now I'll kick your right leg, bring your right leg towards your head a little bit.
How?
Other way. Now it's, yeah, what you do with your left foot there, do it with your right. Bring it towards your, yeah, like that, slowly.
It's in front now. No?
Yeah, it's just kind of clear. Now take your, there you go, like that. Now come down with your feet, both of them, towards the handrail. Yeah, it's just caught on your right knee, so
yeah,
you got to clear that right side.
Yeah, it'll clear itself when I go down.
Okay.
Definitely. Okay. Transitioning over to the Fort Bravo side, Jenny.
Standby 1, Shane.
Tomorrow.
That was Thomas, Jenny. Am I not supposed to go to the Fort Bravo side with my KSR?
And standby 1 as well, Thomas. They're still just talking about that one get ahead to check an extra pair of whiffs on the way to the relocation. I'll have words for you soon.
If you told me what your relocation is. Okay. Still behind me, Shane?
Let me look. Still between your legs.
It should be coming from my left, right? So I need to close legs above it.
Yeah,
right?
It's just caught on your right leg right now. If
yeah.
You can
it should come from my left, no?
No, it's not. If you can, just lost sight of it, but yeah. So if you can bring your right knee up, I don't know, you probably can't very much, but then, oh, you almost had it there. There you go, perfect, keep going.
Yeah, but now it's going to be between my legs, no?
No, it's going to come out right in the middle.
Nice, in between my legs.
Now you're good.
Oh, good, nice. Well done, thank you.
Yep.
Jenny, what's the word?
Thomas, you are relocating your APFR to the 4 Bravo side. As we discussed, this is the nominal get ahead. You're going to place your APFR in whiff 29. Shane, we are going to go have you assess one whiff along the way to your nominal relocation.
Okay, copy.
29, cross, right.
Jenny, if I'm coming right back to this spot where my APFR is, can I just temp still my crew like that here? A little bundling it.
Checking.
Or am I not? I guess I could. You're not coming back here.
Yeah, my first thought is that you're not coming back there. Okay. Disregard my last, Shane. You are not coming back to the site, so you will bundle the crew lock bag with the APFR, and we are not doing your get-ahead with. So we are on the nominal relocation, so just the translation path that you studied, and we're relocating that APFR to the 4 Bravo side with 17.
Okay, sounds good. And Jenny, what's the clocking on that APFR, please?
12.
12. Copy.
From this view, you can see Kimbrough at the very top of your screen. That's the 2B power channel where they just completed the installation and deployment of the first iROSA to help augment the station's power supply. This is the new solar array that is also part of the 2B power channel in addition to the legacy solar arrays that are out on the Port 6 truss. On the bottom of your screen, you see Thomas Pesquet. He's already getting some of the next work site, the 4B work site, some of the preparations ready for when the two of them go out once again next Friday to install another iROSA. And that will complete the port side, the Port 6 segment of the International Space Station and the upgrades there.
The APFR in width 29 with a clocking of 12. Good pull and tug test.
Copy. Good pull twist test. Check locking collar black on black, Thomas.
Locking collar black on black. Pitch India, India. The roll is Foxtrot. And the yaw is 11.
All right, those are good settings. Let's confirm that the pitch knob is popped out, and then you can translate back to the cable bag.
Pitch knob is popped out. I'll go back to the cable bag.
Good checks.
Hey, Jenny, what's the pitch for the new APFR when I get it there?
Fox, Fox.
Okay, it's the same. Copy. Jenny, I got the APFR, BRT, I got it bundled to the crew lock bag. Translate to the 4B side.
Good words, Shane. That sounds like a good config. Let me know if you need any additional words on your translation path.
Yeah, I probably will. So, stand by.
The translation path is the predetermined movement that Shane Kimbrough will make from the 2B power channel, where he currently is at the very top of your screen, in the suit with the white stripes, or the unmarked suit. He'll get some words from Capcom Jenny Seide, who's been the voice here from Mission Control throughout the duration of today's spacewalk, on the translation path, or the particular path needed for him to get from this worksite to the next.
And yeah, I'm back on the 2 Bravo side. I'll make my way to the cable bag.
Copy, Thomas. Sounds good. You'll be closing up that cable bag and securing the lid with the straps and then relocating to the 4 Bravo side.
Hey, Jenny, am I going past this radiator, then where do I go?
Checking.
How you doing, Thomas?
Doing good. Thanks, Shane. Getting in position to work on the bag.
Shane, you continue translating inboard past that radiator.
Okay.
Okay. Jenny, I'm in position for the bag. Go ahead and close it.
Copy, Thomas.
Jenny, I'm at our Green Hook locations.
Copy, Shane. We're tracking you past 1 A-frame. You are going to be translating down the 2nd A-frame to the 4 Bravo side.
Okay. Right, let me, it's like my other reel is not retracting, so let me work on that for a second.
Copy. Take your time.
All right, is this the A-frame I'm going for? I just inboarded the Green Hooks.
A-firm, that's right, Shane.
Okay.
Okay, the bag is closed. I'm going to go ahead and retrieve it.
Copy, Thomas.
Hey, Jenny, I'm on handrail 5311. Is that where I start going? Yeah, it looks like I go outboard from here.
A-firm, you head back outboard.
Nothing to hold on to.
If it helps.
All right, I got a right in the bag.
Shane, you can grab onto the cams of the grapple fixture, but be mindful of the pins, obviously.
Yeah, just another way to reach that. Thanks.
Again, the astronauts completed the installation and deployment of a new solar array on the 2B power channel. Now they are cleaning up that 2B worksite, getting all the tools and equipment necessary that were necessary for the tasks today, and they're moving it over to the 4B side. This will be the worksite for the next spacewalk, tentatively scheduled for Friday, June 25th. You saw Kimbrough with a portable foot restraint in tow.
My BRT.
Thomas has a equipment bag in tow as well.
We'll be relocating that to the outboard radiator side, and I have handrails for you if you need them.
I will need them, but when I get there, Jenny, if that's okay.
Of course.
Again, Pesquet is in the suit with the red stripes, and Kimbrough, the suit with the white stripes or the unmarked suit. Kimbrough is on the 4B side, Pesquet on the 2B.
Short of the lift. Yeah, I'm at 5329 and
Okay.
as far as I can go. Does that make sense?
Copy. You're at 5329.
Yep.
And you said your tether is.
Can't get any more outboard.
Oh, your tether is limiting you from going outboard.
Correct. Doesn't make sense. It shouldn't be that short.
Yeah, we're tracking that you should be able to translate further outboard, so we think you might have a snag. Let me check. And Shane, we're going to have you.
I'm translating you up.
Shane, we're going to have you backtrack. We think it might be a snag. If you can turn back and see anything, that will be helpful as well.
I'm doing that now. Thanks. And I have the reel in my hand, Jenny. It's retracting, and it's supposed to be.
Copy.
I can't see anything from here.
Jenny, I'm back on the Fort Bravo side, so actually that bag goes out of it of the APSR that I just installed, correct? Across the AA.
Ephraim.
It's a minus. Hey, Jenny, whatever I did went back a little bit and put it outboard again. It seems to be working.
A lot of potential for snags around this area.
Yeah. All right.
Shane, we're still talking your tether. You're still limited from going outboard. Is that correct?
Nope, I'm good to go. I went back in a little bit and then tried it again, and it went free. So I'm at the WIF 17 right now.
Oh, okay, that's great news. You're looking to install that APFR in WIF 17, clocking of 12.
Clocking 12.
And with a good tether configuration, Shane Kimbrough made his way out to the 4B work site. This is essentially the opposite end of where they've been working throughout the duration of today's spacewalk. After completely installing and deploying the new IROSA solar array that will be augmenting the power supply on the 2B channel. They're just doing some get-ahead work now. Kimbrough installing a portable foot restraint into a worksite interface, really just getting it prepared for when they head out again for a future spacewalk to upgrade that power channel, the 4B channel.
Copy, Thomas.
That's where you want me to put the bag is my question.
Affirm, Thomas, that's a good position for the bag. Just make sure that the lid faces inboard.
Okay, thanks, Jenny.
Correction, the hinge faces inboard.
Copy, the hinge inboard.
Hey, Jenny, 6 o'clock, black on black, good pull test, good twist test. Pitch knob is out.
Copy, Shane. And to confirm, that's a clocking of 12.
12, sorry, yep. Did I say 6? My bad. Yep.
Yep, we're looking for a clocking of 12.
That's what it is.
Okay, great. So those are good checks. The remainder of your settings are Fox, Fox, Fox 8.
Stand by.
The hinge facing inboard.
Good words.
Jenny, Foxtrot, Foxtrot, Foxtrot 8.
Good words.
I'll get my crew lock bag.
Copy. You'll stow that on your BRT, and can we check pitch knob popped out on the APFR?
Jenny, do you want it open or closed, that bag?
You can leave the bag closed, Thomas. Your next step are to translate inboard and pick up your green hook along the way.
I can leave it closed, but can I leave it open too? There's not that many barrels right there in the area. I want to leave it bouncing around.
We copy, Thomas. We're just checking on it. So the bag does need to stay closed for this stow.
Copy, closed.
If it helps, you might be able to use the ORU tether points on the bag.
Okay, all right. But that doesn't...
Yeah, I got the crew lock bag. My VRT, Jenny. Where they go translate that?
Copy, Shane. I'll take a glove inspection, hap check, and gauntlet check from you, and then we'll have you translate back to your green hook.
Gloves are great. Dry hap and gauntlets are in place.
Copy. Good checks from you, Shane. You can retrieve your green hook.
Tomorrow I'll meet you up there.
Okay.
Thomas, we're still checking on bag configuration for you.
That's good. I'll be done in 5 minutes. Okay, Jenny, I've teach from the back down. It's floating a little bit, but it's general orientation that you wanted. I think it's good enough. What do you think?
Copy, and we agree that looks good to us. It really is your best effort, and as long as you're happy, Thomas. So with that, you can translate to retrieve your green hook. Shane is going to be translating there as well. He's on his way.
Okay.
All right, I'm going to stop and fix my tether again. It's not retracting.
Copy, Shane.
As we enter into an orbital nighttime, the two astronauts out of the P6 Trust, that's Thomas Pesquet of the European Space Agency and Shane Kimbrough of NASA, completing their work preparing the 4B worksite. So they move some of their equipment, including portable foot restraints, some tethers, some cables, all over to the 4B worksite.
The handover.
And they are done with those procedures, the 4B worksite ready for the next spacewalk. The next set of procedures we are waiting for from the ground here in Mission Control Houston will be the set of procedures to head over to the flight support equipment, which is on the end of the station's robotic arm. There is the other IROSA, the other solar array that will be used to upgrade the 4B power channel, the worksite that they've been preparing for that next set of upgrades. Their task for the remainder of today's spacewalk is to go over to that worksite and unbolt a few things, essentially preparing that IROSA to be removed from the flight support equipment and brought over to its new home on the 4B worksite.
I gotta work on mine again. I'm at my green hook tomorrow, but my other one's pretty messed up, so I'm there working on it.
And we're back with you after the handover. We copy about your tether. Is that the retraction issue, Shane?
Yeah, tomorrow too, I think.
Yeah, tomorrow's cleared up. I'm good. I'm on my way.
Alright. I got my green hook on my red reel. Do you want Tomas to lead or me to lead going back?
Checking.
Right now,
Yeah, Tomas.
it's easier if you go. I'm right behind you.
Yeah, I'm gonna go.
We'll have Thomas lead to the FSE.
It's not convenient here,
Can you get over me here?
No. There's no good handrail, so we'll go like this and we'll be conflicted, yes.
No problem, guys. If it's easier for Shane to lead back, that's fine with us. Shane can lead to the FSE.
There's no good handrails here for me to jump over Shane.
Great.
No problem. I understand. Just make sure. I copy that Shane has retrieved his green hook. Thomas, I need words on you picking up yours and a glove inspection, hap check, gauntlet check when you get the chance.
I'm not at fast 309 just yet, but I'm getting there, Jenny.
Copy, Thomas.
Okay, fast 309, speak of the devil.
There it is.
There it is.
Copy.
I'll pick up my green hook, Jenny, and put it on my red reel if that's okay.
Affirm.
My green hook is on my red reel and it stays unlocked. Both reels are unlocked and my yellow hook is locked on my green reel.
Copy. That's a good config, Thomas. I'll take a glove inspection, hap check, and gauntlet check as well.
Gauntlets are down, gloves are good, some black smudges from translating around, and hap is dry.
Okay, copy. That's a good check. I have a big picture update for both of you. Our PET is 4 hours, 35 minutes. EV1 MEDOX, 7 hour, 20 minutes. As mentioned previously, we are headed to the FSE to release the IROSA upper support beams. That should take us about 1 hour, and then we will reassess where we are.
Hey, Jenny, that sounds good. Happy?
And you guys are doing great.
You're doing great too.
So confirmed from the flight control teams here in Mission Control Houston, everything looking good for the 2 spacewalking astronauts to proceed to that flight support equipment. Correction, it's not at the end of the station's robotic arm, it's on a portion of the station's truss called the SETA cart. There houses the flight support equipment that is holding the final IROSA that was delivered on SpaceX CRS-22. These IROSAs, contracted to be built by Boeing and subcontracted by Redwire, are going to provide augmented power supplies to the entire space station, the first 2 being delivered this year on CRS-22.
Okay, right behind you. That's out your line is wrapped.
Again, they finished the preparations needed for the next work site, the 4B channel. They won't be going back to the 4B channel today to install that IROSA. Instead, they'll use the remainder of their time, as noted by the flight controllers here, 1 hour, to loosen up some bolts on a beam that's keeping the IROSA in place. That will eliminate about an hour of time from the next spacewalk, when they'll go out and be able to remove that IROSA pretty quickly, move it over to the mounting bracket on the 4B channel, and install it to complete the 4B channel's augmented power supply.
See where I'm going first.
So as written, I do have you climbing onto the FSE from the zenith
Okay, I'll just wait.
square of the port SETA cart. Shane.
Copy that.
And I do have some reminder cautions I need to read you when you're ready.
We are ready.
No sudden movements, stops, or quick grabs on the FSE. Translate slowly. Wait until FSE motion dampens out before imparting any loads. While working on the FSE, you must not simultaneously impart loads into the FSE. Driving and releasing bolts at the same time is acceptable. And do not contact the IROSA blankets because the solar cells are fragile.
Copy all.
Copy all. We'll be real tomorrow. We'll just talk about it every time we're going to move.
One at a time.
Yep, one at a time.
We just got your helmet cams back. I can see, Thomas, you're retrieving your crew lock bag from the port SETA cart. Is that correct?
I'm doing. All right.
Getting some good views from the helmet camera of Shane Kimbrough looking at Thomas Pesquet, European Space Agency astronaut. They've both arrived at the work site. The flight support equipment, there's an IROSA, another solar array. On the flight support equipment, he's working with a crew lock bag to get some tools needed for loosening the bolts that will help with some of the get-ahead tasks to prepare for removing the IROSA from the flight support equipment and moving it over to the other power channel on the Port 6 truss, the 4B channel, on a future spacewalk.
We're going to leave it here at the shoulder. Then cross over.
Okay. Yeah, you're just going to reach up to your right there, I think. Grab on.
Now and
Now entering into another short handover period, already regaining some of the audio from space. Again, the flight control teams here in Mission Control Houston being led by Flight Director Ron Spencer. You see on the right of your screen, the voice you're hearing from here in Mission Control, Jenny Seide, there in the middle of the console.
I'm on the FSC. Where am I going? Ready? I'm staying nadir and I'm crossing, correct?
You are stowing your crew lock bag on the tower handrail if that's not done already.
Yeah, so Venus or nadir? Where I am.
You'll also be performing a socket swap.
Sure, you can click receive.
You'll also need to perform a...
You're going nadir, Thomas.
Yeah. That's the translation route for me, Jenny. Nadir or Zenith to go to the other side of the FSE.
Copy. So then you will be, that's correct, translating nadir outboard to get to the tower handrail.
Okay. Copy nadir and Shane's going to stay Zenith. We'll try.
Affirm.
Conflict.
Shane's going to translate Zenith outboard to stanchion Charlie.
See my switch tether, Shane, from where you are?
Not yet.
I'm going to stay this for a minute.
Yeah, it looks good. Let's see, it's behind your back.
Yeah, that's what I thought with all the rotation.
Yeah, but we can, it's coming around.
Clear like this.
It's good. It's clear.
Clear?
Yep.
Yep.
Nice.
A good view being provided from the truss segment of the International Space Station. You can see the other solar array in the center of your screen. It is folded in half, just like the other array was at the beginning of today's spacewalk. You can also see the station's robotic arm off to the left. It is stretched out as earlier in today's spacewalk. The other end of the station's robotic arm was providing some camera views of the deployment of the solar array on the 2B side.
Going to Charlie, right, Jenny?
Affirm, Shane. You're headed Zenith outboard, stanchion Charlie.
Right near Thomas.
You'll both be on the outboard side, correct?
Go the FSC, moving.
Okay, I'm stopping.
Inside of the gym, too, from here.
Okay, I'm going to start moving again.
Yep. I'm not doing anything, I'm waiting on you.
Okay. Alright, I'm at 7. This is where I'm putting my crew lock bag.
Affirm, you'll be leaving your crew lock bag there, Shane, and Thomas, you are stowing your crew lock bag on the tower handrail.
Mark Jenny.
Good coordination, you two. Shane, let me know if you need a handrail number.
I got 7's where I'm putting it, right?
That's right.
Okay.
I got a red on the tower handrail, on the bag.
And my crew lock bag is on 7. Let me get my PRT off.
And Shane, you'll actually be translating to stanchion Alpha before using your PGT.
Yeah.
Crew lock bag on the tower handrail, I'm at stanchion Alpha.
Thomas, next step for you, I have doing a socket swap to the 5/8 2-inch socket.
Copy.
Okay, Jenny, I'm going to head over to stanchion Alpha if you're good with that.
Yep, I am. Thomas is not translating, so you can translate to Stanchion Alpha. It is Nader inboard.
Copy. Tomorrow I'm going to move. I'm still attached to the bag, probably.
Jenny, since all the socket attachment points are taken, one socket is going to stay on the red, right? What I swapped. Stay on the pit pin, sorry.
I'm not sure I understood, Thomas. You're socket swapping to the 5/8 2-inch and then stowing the 7/16 6-inch back on the socket caddy.
So, yeah. So, right, so since all the, just checking with you that all the socket attachment points are taken, so after you move the socket from socket caddy, leave it on the pit pin, and remove the socket from put it on the socket caddy, so one socket is going to stay on the pit pin. Just checking that with you. That's not the most comfortable position. That makes sense?
Checking.
All right, now I'm moving tomorrow.
On the pit pin temporarily, Jenny, right? I don't know if I'm making myself.
He said he didn't have one there.
So is the issue that you don't have a pit pin available, Thomas? We're just trying to pinpoint what the issue is.
There's no issue. I'm just, I have to take the socket off the socket caddy. I cannot put it anywhere until I take the socket from my and put it on the socket caddy. So I'm just saying,
you can.
It's not a big deal. One socket is going to stay on the pit pin.
Yeah, you can just leave it on the pit pin, Thomas. That's totally legal. That's fine.
I need to check. Shane, how's the translation?
All right, I'm just coming up to Stanchion Alpha now. I see your safety tether here.
Copy. Okay, I have the 2-inch on the pit pin.
Copy, Thomas. Shane, you'll be staging a mini workstation ret on the closest beam handrail for temp stow. And make sure that you loop the ret cord over the beam structure to make sure it doesn't contact the blanket.
If I have a ret to give.
Coming up on 5 hours into today's spacewalk, the two astronauts, Thomas Pesquet on the right and Shane Kimbrough on the left, are working to release some support beams that are keeping the final solar array that was delivered on SpaceX CRS-22 from some flight support equipment. This will help to reduce the time to remove the IROSA from this flight support equipment when it is brought over to be installed on the 4B channel on a future spacewalk.
716 is on the socket caddy.
Copy, Thomas.
Full test.
This is the second IROSA delivered to the International Space Station and to be installed. There are planned 6 as part of a power augmentation plan to augment the station's power supply.
And I'm working on the 2-inch.
These solar arrays were contracted to be built by Boeing and subcontracted by Redwire.
And Shane, just for clarification, that mini workstation RET should be entirely on the handrail, so one hook on each wine glass stanchion with the RET cord looped over the beam structure.
Yep, got it. I'll just untangle on the RET to make that happen. Thanks.
Then you have the 2-inch on my PGT is a good pull test. Go ahead and close that bag.
Copy. Sounds good.
All right. Now, Jenny, I'm going to get ready to FC9. So next step. Those bolts in that area.
Yep, Thomas,
I'm moving. Oops.
you're going to pre-stage a RET on the lower stanchion of the grapple tower handrail, and that's going to go to the beam.
Lower stanchion of the grapple tower. Okay.
Yep.
I'll stretch it out to the beam.
A-firm.
Okay, so right from my mini workstation.
Yep, from your mini workstation, and this is just to temp stow this beam because we cannot install it yet with the other beam in place.
Understood.
Yeah, the RET in place, Jenny, and ready for tomorrow when he gets there.
I'll bring my RET all the way to the beam handrail.
A-firm, you're going to attach it to the closest beam handrail stanchion. And I copy the RET config from Shane. That sounds good. You can get in position with your PGT. And keep in mind this is a Bravo 7 setting for both of you to release these beam bolts, so high torque.
After that, I got a VRT on for C7 and C8 when you tell me.
Copy. You can get that in place. Thomas just needs to attach this RET, and then he'll be doing the same.
You're right there, Shane.
Yeah, no worries.
All right, the RET goes from the lower stanchion of the tower handrail, where my cooler bag is, to the beam handrail closest to me.
Copy. That looks good. So that will be the first RET for the temp stow. Thomas, you can also get in a position for a PGT setting of Bravo 7. You're going to be working with C10 and C9 bolts.
So it keeps getting caught going around the corner. Okay, that should be fine. Push Bravo 7. I don't have a really good BRT handrail in the area.
Got one on the stanchion there?
But it's low.
Yeah, this might, I could do it with this angle, I guess, but you have a different one.
Yeah, I'm opposite of you.
Yep.
It's on the wrong side, but I'll try.
I think that's your only option over there.
I agree.
I'll have the same problem on the next one.
We agree the options are sparse for a BRT hold there. Hopefully you can use the stanchion handrail to help brace yourself as well.
Okay. BRT.
Jenny for EV2, I got Bravo 7, and is it counter 2?
Bravo 7, counter 2. It'll be the same setting for all bolts.
Copy, that's set for EV2.
And I copy Bravo 7, counter 2. EV1, Cal. Bravo 7. Counter 2 for me, Jenny.
Affirm, Bravo 7, counter 2.
Okay, I'm ready with Bravo 7.
Okay, again, you can release bolts simultaneously. Thomas, you'll be releasing both bolts, C9 and C10. Shane, you will only be releasing C7 until Thomas is ready to take control of the beam. 8 to 11 turns each, the bolts will spring out when released.
Copy. Working on C9. Okay. 9. Coming out, I have 9 turns.
9 turns for C7.
Copy, 9 turns on C7 and 10 turns C10.
Well, I'm starting C10 now, so that was C9.
Copy, C9.
My side. And C9 pops out 10 turns.
Copy, now 10 turns on C10. Thomas, you can stow your PGT.
I'm stowing the PGT. I'll be in a position to receive the beam.
Affirm.
Ready? Let me check.
Kimbrough and Pesquet working on support beams that are keeping the iROSA in place. On that flight support equipment, there are 4 bolts that they're driving for the support beam on the nadir side.
And then you'll be stowing the beam on the grapple tower handrail.
Okay, Shane, let me take my local tether from the right standby.
Yeah, no worries.
It's going to be crowded with the crew lock bag and the beam. I want to make it as clear as possible before I bring the beam.
Sounds good.
There are 2 bolts on each side of the nadir upper iROSA support beam for each of the spacewalking astronauts. So they have 4 each.
Okay, 9 turns.
Copy, 9 turns on Charlie 8. You can stow the PGT, Shane.
Watch out because the beam is...
Yeah, I'm going to have to help you.
Yeah.
Got it?
One hand.
Got it? Okay, now I go.
There I go.
Well done. You can attach the staged RET from Shane to the upper handrail stanchion on the tower handrail, Thomas. Shane, you will be translating to stanchion Bravo, which is zenith and inboard.
Copy, heading to Bravo.
Okay, I have 2 reds on that beam. Handrail 013.
Copy. That's a good temp stow, Thomas. You can translate to stanchion Charlie, which is the other side of the tower handrail, or the grapple tower.
Copy. I'll stand by until Shane is done with his translation.
Let me move here tomorrow. I'll be there shortly.
Good
No
point.
worries, Shane. That's fine.
just a second to clear your safety tether from it. Okay. Now moving again under the TOA.
Working together, Pesquet and Kimbrough have released the first beam. This support beam on the nadir side, or the side that faces toward the Earth. They've removed it and put it in a temporary stowed position, now moving over to a different part of the flight support equipment where there is another beam on the zenith side, or the space-facing side, and they'll do the same thing.
Charlie there? Oh, there you are.
Yep. Oh, you're good, Jerky.
Yeah, I'm stopped. I'm done translating. Thank you.
Shane, now that you're in position, you can attach a RET to the closest beam handrail stanchion. The other end of that RET will stay on your mini workstation.
I think I land a RET, but I'll do an adjustable. The line's on my circa thing.
Yeah. The RET was fixed in.
Yeah. Could use the PR2 RET, I guess.
Okay, we copy.
I'll just use the light smile adjustable if that's all right, Jenny.
Okay. Sweet.
That sounds good, Shane. You can do that.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm at Charlie.
Copy. Thomas, you're at Charlie. You can get ready to use your PGT. Again, Bravo 7 setting.
Again, Pesquet and Kimbrough have removed one of the support beams that is keeping the IROSA secured to the flight support equipment. They'll remove another beam, and this will be a nice get-ahead to limit the number of steps needed to physically remove the IROSA from the flight support equipment and take it over to the 4B channel on another spacewalk. Again, they've done one beam, removed it, and put it in a temporary stowed position. Now they're working on the next.
Okay. Bravo 7.
Bravo.
So clockwise 2.
Affirm.
I have as well.
Bravo 7, counter 2. Shane, you'll be releasing Charlie 5 and Charlie 6. Thomas, you can release Charlie 4 and then hold until Shane's ready to take control of the beam. We're expecting 8 to 11 turns. The bolts will pop out when released.
10 turns for Charlie 5.
10 turns, Charlie 5.
10 turns for Charlie 4.
10 turns, Charlie 4.
Okay, Thomas, I'm going to drive Charlie 6, and you're going to hold off, right?
Yep.
Going to wait.
Yes, Thomas is going to pause before releasing the final bolt. Shane, you can release Charlie 6.
Good position here.
The crew continuing to work on the remaining support beam. one of two that they will be removing as part of these procedures to get a couple steps ahead of removing the IROSA from the flight support equipment. They won't physically remove it for this spacewalk. They'll save it for another one. We are getting some sunlight on the outside of the International Space Station as the station itself flies 260 statute miles over the middle of the Pacific Ocean.
You can show your PGT. You will be the one maintaining control of the beam as Thomas releases the final bolt this time.
And the POA right there.
Now it's misbehaving again, Thomas.
Mine is not doing great either. Jenny, what's our PET?
All right, hold on, Thomas. Yeah.
So a reminder for both of you, we're not temp stowing this beam. We're just putting it in its final config. So that means, Shane, you're maintaining control of it. Thomas will release the final bolt. And then, Shane, you will swing the beam around so it's parallel with the IROSA blankets, handles facing the POA.
Yeah, thanks, Thomas. I'm ready.
Okay, and what's our PET, Jenny? Please, real quick, before we start this.
The settings, Bravo 7, counter 2, and you're releasing at 8 to 11 turns.
Okay, so nice. Bravo 7, counter 2, you ready, Shane?
Yep.
So both of them now in position with pistol grip tools in hand, or the space drills, power drills needed to unbolt the support beams. Again, each of them have 4 bolts, so they've already completed 2. These will be the remaining 2, and that will be the final support beam.
Yeah, I feel it. I'll hold it here until you get set. Okay.
So I copy Charlie 3 released. Do you have a turn count, Thomas?
11.
Copy, 11 turns. You're stowing your PGT, so you can help Shane release the beam. And again, Shane, you'll be swinging it so it's parallel with the IROSA blankets.
Copy that. Okay. I'm going to wait till you get over there just so I don't hit the IROSA.
So you don't want me to stop it from here?
No. Get in position next to me on my right, and then I'll pick it up and kind of swing it that way so we don't touch the IROSA.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah, because it actually helped me when you initiated the motion, and then I just had to grab it, but that could work too. I mean, so I'm moving.
Okay, ground copies. That's fine with us. Thomas, as a reminder, you're translating to Stanchion Alpha, which is the other side of the POA from Shane, inboard Nader.
You're Shane. Copy.
What's our PET?
5 hours, 11 minutes.
Copy.
All right. On my way, Shane.
Yeah.
Here in a minute.
Great views as the International Space Station and the crew outside. On the left, Thomas Pesquet. On the right, Shane Kimbrough cross over the Terminator line over the Earth. They're in the middle of the Pacific Ocean at this time, 260 statute miles.
All right, sir, here I am.
Here, get all set up and let me know when you're ready.
In a good position. DOT. Yeah. Pull out handrails, that's what you did?
The one on the stanchion.
DOT to the one on the pole.
Yeah, that's cool too. Ready?
Oh. Yeah, I'm ready.
All right, here we go. Now it's towards the POA.
Got it.
I got to come my way.
And then pitch it, your hand is underneath. I'll pitch it.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
Sure where to put it. But
there you go.
That looked great, you two.
okay.
Keep in mind that the beam won't reach the ends of the stanchion on each side, and you can hand start Charlie 3 for Thomas and Charlie 5 for Shane, 2 to 3 turns each.
One at a time, Shane, I think is the idea.
Yeah, let's see here.
Your hand is again underneath. Right, Tim?
Support beam on the zenith side of the side facing towards space. A little bit clearer now that we're in an orbital daytime. That support beam has been removed. The duo will now work together to hand tighten the beam in a secure position. After hand tightening, they'll both use the pistol grip tool to secure it in that position, then move over and do the same thing with the nadir beam, which is in a temporary stowed position at this time.
Wait, I'm not done, Shane. You're still in place?
Yeah, still in. Sorry about that.
Okay, no worries. I don't feel you engaging.
So to hold it down?
Yeah. Excellent.
I have to swing it a little bit to see where the hole is.
Have to change my body position. Gas control.
I have control.
Nothing. Just 1 minute. Not lined up.
You move it around, it should have enough play to move it.
You know, I felt like it's engaging.
We copy, Thomas.
And, there you go. That's it. Yeah, I got it.
Nice.
Well done.
It's engaged, Charlie 3.
You can get out your PGTs. Let me know when you're ready for settings.
Okay, I'm ready for settings.
Alpha 4, clockwise 2.
Alpha 4, clockwise 2. Set.
Good words. And Shane, you'll be driving Charlie 5, 25 to 27 turns to torque.
Okay, Alpha 4, clockwise 2, 25 or so turns, right?
Same settings for me, Jenny.
Affirm. Same settings. Alpha 4, clockwise 2.
First 4. Twice 2.
All right, I can go ahead and drive, Jenny.
Affirm, Shane.
Kimbrough and Pesquet have removed the zenith support beam, the one that's facing towards space, and put it in its stowed position. They gave it the bolts on each side, one each, one on Kimbrough's side and the other on Pesquet's side. Gave it a few turns with their hands. Now they're using the pistol grip tool to secure it in place.
4.97 turns. Green light.
Copy, Shane. Did you say that was 4.9 or 24.9 turns?
4.9.
With good torque and green light. Copy.
Correct.
I go to drive, Jenny.
We're just talking that turn count's pretty far off of what we were expecting. Let me check if we want to go ahead and drive your bolt, Thomas. Stand by 1.
It's hard to tell how many I did finger setting, but, 4 or 5 is probably the most.
Yeah, we copy. Thanks, Shane. And
Can you see in my helmet camera the bolt sticking up? Sorry.
yeah, we can see it in your helmet cam. Thanks, Shane. I think our first steps here, we're going to try a different body position. So is there any adjustment that you can make that makes you think you'd be able to drive that bolt at a better angle?
No, I'm on the only handrail around here. So I think that's it.
All right, copy. We understand. Okay, Shane, I have some additional steps for you. Let's drive the bolt out 1 turn at nominal torque. The setting is alpha 4, counter 2.
Alpha 4, counter 2, 1 turn.
Affirm.
Okay, that's complete.
Reattempt to install alpha 4, clockwise 2.
Okay, Alpha 4, clockwise 2 is set. Turn, work out, green light.
How many turns did you get, Shane?
I just got one more turn there. So I took one out and I put one in.
Copy. Shane, we're going to have you increase the torque to Bravo 7 and stay at clockwise 2. We're going to attempt 23 turns only.
Copy, Bravo 7.
Affirm.
Set, and how many turns?
23 turns only. Correction, Shane. That's a total of 23 turns.
Okay.
Shane, the updated turn count is 15 turns, 1-5, and 30 seconds to handover.
Okay, I just did 17 turns there before you called that.
Bolt is in.
Copy, you got 17 turns on the bolt, Shane. Short handover.
So as we come up on a short handover, we might be losing the views from station soon. There we go. The crew was working on stowing a support beam, which was actually across the IROSA, keeping it in place on the flight support equipment. There were two beams. They removed one and put it in a temporary stow position. The one they were just working on was the second one that they removed. They're putting it in a more permanent position, bolting it down out of the way, just getting some steps ahead of essentially getting ready for the next spacewalk, now tentatively scheduled for June 25th. That's when they will actually remove the solar array and move it to the 4B channel, but they were just working on troubleshooting, bolting it down in place now that it was off from the blanket itself. Seems like that worked. We'll get confirmation from the ground teams.
17 turns at Bravo 7, Shane. We're going to set the PGT back to Alpha 4 and see if we can get any more turns on it.
Alpha 4, clockwise 2.
Good settings.
Oh, torque's out, right away.
Copy, torqued out.
Well, it definitely looks like it's in now.
All right, we're satisfied that that bolt is where we want it to be. Now, Thomas, we're going to try your bolts. Let's try the original settings of Alpha 4 clockwise 2 and see how we get on.
Am I doing another bolt here, or is that it?
Nope. You are only driving Charlie 5. You can stow your PGT and release your ret.
Alpha 4 clockwise 2, Jenny for Charlie 3.
Affirm. Expect 25 to 27 turns to torque.
So again, a reattempt of driving that bolt to secure the support beam out of the way and allow the astronauts to go back out and grab the IROSA on a future spacewalk. That bolt on Shane's side seemed to do the trick. Now we'll go back over to Thomas Pesquet's side and drive that bolt. They only need to drive one bolt each to secure it in place.
Jenny, you have 9 turns and it torques out with a green light. At 9 turns, it looks like compared to Shane's bolt, it's halfway through.
Copy. 9 turns, torqued out, green light, and you think it's driven halfway.
Correct.
Shane, you can retrieve the pit pin from the stowage location and push the C2 bolt into the can, stowing it with the pit pin.
All right, what am I stowing again? So
Pit pin.
I got the pit pin, but what am I doing?
You're stowing the Charlie 2 bolt.
Protruding inside of the...
This is this guy?
Yeah.
Yep,
I got you.
that's right. Push it inside of the can and then install the pit pin straight down into the can.
Okay, Jenny. The time for Charlie 3.
We're checking on settings for you, Thomas. You can set Bravo 7 on your PGT, Thomas. We're talking the number of turns to expect.
Bravo 7.
Pins installed, Jenny.
Copy, Shane. So Bravo 7, clockwise to Thomas, expect 7 turns on Charlie 3.
Bravo 7, clockwise to 7 turns.
Correction, 7 turns only, so stop at 7 turns.
At 7 turns. Up, Shane. Good?
I'm good.
You?
Hanging out.
The earth below.
Shane, while Thomas is driving that bolt, you can translate to stanchion Charlie, zenith outboard.
Copy.
Pesquet,
7 turns at Bravo 7.
Copy, 7 turns.
It's not all the way, the bolt is not all the way in. It protrudes a little bit more than the same bolt.
Copy, Thomas. Let's change to Alpha 4, clockwise 2, and try and torque out the bolt.
Alpha 4, clockwise 2. I think it torques out right away.
I'm moving tomorrow.
Jenny torques out right away.
Pesquet continuing to work on that last bolt. Kimbrough completed the bolt on his side to secure that beam to the flight support equipment.
Copy. Under 1 turn and a green light, it torques out right away.
Pesquet working on getting this final bolt secured. In the meantime, Kimbrough moving over to the other beam, now in a temporary stowed position. He'll begin the process of moving the beam over to a very similar configuration to bolt it in place on the side of the flight support equipment.
You, Shane?
You.
Thomas, we're going to have you change your PGT back to Bravo 7 and torque out the bolt.
Okay. Bravo 7, clockwise 2, torquing out the bolt.
Good words.
Torque, green light, back turns, 75.4.
5.4 turns, green light, and torqued out. Copy, Thomas. You can stow your PGT, and then you'll be retrieving the pit pin to stow the C1 bolt. Shane, I don't have next step for you. You stand by at that stanchion for Thomas to have you the first beam that you moved, and you guys will do the temp stow on the outward side.
Yeah. Okay. Just pull on it. Yeah. Okay, I'm coming.
I missed it.
Thomas, if that was a question about actuating the pit pin, you can push or pull on the top of the pit pin to get the...
Copy. All right, the pit pin is in place, Jenny. I need to head back to the other side.
Copy, Thomas. You'll be
Board side.
Yep, you'll be translating to stanchion Delta, Nader outboard.
Nader outboard to station Delta. Shane, I'm translating.
I'm still. Copy.
Big picture for both of you. We're at a PET of 5 hours and 30 minutes. EV1 MEDOX, 7 hours, 30 minutes.
Copy.
Copy.
All right. And extension.
See you there.
Copy, Thomas. You can retrieve the beam from the grapple tower handrail. You'll start by retrieving the ret hook from the tower lower handrail stanchion and attaching it to your mini workstation.
Ready? Freedom BRT.
Copy.
Okay, so retrieve the hook from the lower handrail, putting it on my mini workstation, the lower extension, sorry, of the handrail.
Good words.
Okay.
Pesquet completing bolting down the beam on the other side of the flight support equipment. He now joins Shane Kimbrough. They'll be working on doing the same thing with the support beam on the other side, securing it down with a series of bolts, one on each side.
On your mini workstation, you'll stow the ret hook from the upper handrail stanchion and leave it attached to the beam handrail. You'll be sending back to Shane when you pass him that end of the beam.
I'll retrieve the hook from the upper stanchion rail on the beam.
Copy? Yep, that's right. So that'll be completely on the beam, and Jane can retrieve it and see them in. Copy. Now you pass that to you'll be in the scene in the storage location. Handlebars facing the grapple tower.
Since you're ready, I'm going to run it up with you. And that's you. Break down. Thank you. There you go. Okay, I have it. You have it? Yep. Let's run over a little bit. Okay, I have control. Okay, you can good. Right on it? Have a right on it. Good. Okay.
You can hand start your respective bolts.
Always just like the other one. Okay. You have to put it into the okay, behind on it. Yeah. I'm trying to maintain it stable so you can put it in position.
Okay, great. It's kind of on the platform there now.
Much towards you, reckon, no?
And now hold it right there, fine.
Okay, we get
try. Okay, I got mine started.
nice. So, do you have control? Hello?
Sure, I have control. Okay.
I'm sorry, good. I started. Yeah, I got mine started with 3-4 turns. 9.
I get my red off of here. Some right till we're done.
You were ready for PGT.
Hey guys, you got Drew for a few minutes. Jenny's stepping off. PGTs, we're going to start with nominal settings, Alpha 4 for both, clockwise 2.
Alpha 4, clockwise 2, thanks. Go ahead, Jenny.
So same deal as the other side. The beam that was running across the Irosa now off to the side for support equipment, and Kimbrough's the other on Pesquet's using pistol grip tools to secure it in place.
Alpha 4, clockwise 2. We're still looking for 25 to 27 turns of torque, but you guys will let us know those at the setting.
Driving. Six and a half turns, Drew, torqued out.
6.5, green light, standby. We'll go straight to Bravo 7 chain for you and turn to.
I got that hammer.
7, go to torque for C7 chain.
Torque. 14.84 turns, green light, 25 on the foot.
Torque and turns on Charlie 7. Copy the green light.
Okay, Roger. Do you want me at Alpha 4 or Bravo 7 to get Alpha 4?
We'll start with Alpha 4. Let's not go send that lady sequence to Shane.
Okay, Alpha 4. And clockwise 2, going on 9.
From the helmet camera view of Shane Kimbrough, using the end of across the Irosa, I'll Pesquet just saying.
Done on the torque. Well, you drop the torque, confirm, and Shane, I'll take a look at that check, please. Copy your checks. Copy, 9.83 turns, torqued up with a green light. Come on, you can stow your PGT and I'll take a check.
And dry hop, Jerry.
Copy, Thomas. You can retrieve your RET, and then I'll have big picture words for you both.
Thomas Pesquet working on flight support equipment, moving some beams that were securing the IROS to the flight support equipment. There are several more bolts still holding IROS in place. The teams here will continue to evaluate the next steps, looking at the times and the consumables in the suit.
With bolts on the FSE and a lower into the stomach, and then we'll reassess. So that gives us just over 10 minutes to work those bolts. Thomas, I have you at the crew lock bag to do a socket swap, and Shane, you are at crew lock bag number 2, socket swap as well.
Okay, sounds good, Jerry.
And just to clarify, you guys, we will assess at 6, but if you have extra input for us, of course, feel free to raise it.
Yeah, I mean, tomorrow, so either right now is a good time to break out, or we do this for tonight to break out, and I don't know what you want to do.
You were still shooting for the super unit, right? Okay.
That's correct, 30.
Maybe you could make that point, because that's going to take us like 20 years, 30 minutes to go back and clean up everything and yeah. You got any good breakout point if we start doing work and we have to stop in 10, 15 minutes?
Okay, with that, we're happy to clean up. We got a lot done today, and we think it's really good stuff. So let's start our site cleanup steps, and then we'll have you come inside, and we're going to grab that APFR and grab our wire tie at the airlock as well.
We're cleaning up the short side, and we'll be heading up to the airlock.
Perfect. What's next steps?
So at 5 hours 49 minutes into today's spacewalk, teams on the ground evaluating next steps with the crew on board, who successfully moved some of the support beams that were holding the IROS in place on the flight support equipment. There are more bolts that are secured in place, plenty more to keep it nice and secure for the next spacewalk. Looking at some of the next steps, they are deciding to perform cleanup activities, put other tools in the respective tool bag, and make their way back to the airlock for ingress. On the next spacewalk, they'll come back to the flight support equipment and address some of the other bolts that are securing IROS into place and begin steps.
We are ready to see you next steps. You can both retrieve your respective bags from the FSE and some on your BRT.
Okay, and Mark, I'm working on crew back 1 and Shane crew back 2. Correct.
Affirm.
And through proceeding with those cleanup activities, they'll again readdress or address some of the bolts that are still securing the IROS to flight support equipment on the next spacewalk, and that will remove it from the flight support equipment and allow them to move it over to the read channel for installation and deployment. In the meantime, they'll clean up.
If you have our crew back saying you will be back to your look. Ground up.
Come on, copy your red cards. Red. BRT red. Close. Behind you, I'm not translation shit behind you.
So here, 367. I got yours right here.
Thomas, as you follow Shane inward, remember you will be pressing the inboard seat brake release handles twice.
Maybe it'll work itself out by the time we get to the FHRC. Yeah. True.
Copy, Thomas. Copy, Thomas.
Okay.
Kimbrough leading the way from the work site, tailed very close to the Thomas Pesquet, both of them in tow, and crew lock bags, tool bags that they'll be with back into the airlock. They've completed their tasks for today, installing a new IROSA solar array on 2B channel and deploying it. They started some of the prep work for the work site on the other side of the 6 truss, the 4B site, and some of the complex equipment in operations on future VA, and for Unit 20 from the station for making the back to lead this year.
Ship to satellite error. Get in the good take.
Work. A lightweight error. Welcome back. Sure. It's the frequency. Okay, that'll be 652, Jenny. Check on, please.
Copy 3652.
What?
This number 1.
Okay, thank you.
Cease for tomorrow.
Copy.
Okay, 3652. Black on black, and then I check that change CD2. And correct the 3651 lost black on black. I retrieve my computer and my company.
You agree that the config to chain we can back to the airlock. You'll be failing on airlock handrail 500.
Thanks. Copy over here.
Copy chain. As a reminder, you'll be removing the water tie, which is holding the thermal cover in place, and stowing it in your trash bag. Correction, I'm just hearing we can leave that water tie in place. So it looks 3 twists on the handrail. Okay, first, you're productive to your the airlock, you ring extend the laser, and the hook. I copy Thomas.
Kimbrough already at the catch to the station's airlock. Inside is the crew lock, and he'll be able to hook himself up with umbilicals. He'll be carrying that crew lock bag or the tool bag into the airlock with him. And he'll wait for Thomas Pesquet to come in right behind him. You see him coming in frame. Now he'll take the position of going last, and he'll have a responsibility for the thermal cover and hatch. We're now a little more than 6 hours into today's spacewalk.
Copy chain, that's a good load path back to the airlock.
Your airfield just came off tomorrow. Right?
I think you can get the APFR at this point with your lights. You can do it.